Continue to follow this story.
And this is just a reminder, again, we don't know if that was the case, but driving is dangerous no matter what.
Yes.
And you factor in the weather and it makes it even more so.
But we know people, and including seasoned truck and bus drivers, tend to overestimate their skill sometimes on wet pavement.
And let's talk now with Lauren Fix, the car coach. Lauren, what happens with an overconfident driver, the case that someone just thinks that they're invincible?
Well, that happens a lot, especially when you're driving an SUV. People think, well, I've got an SUV. I can get through any snow or any rain or any ice situation. You have to remember with rain, the water gets between the tires, whether you're driving a teeny little car or a big SUV or even a truck. And that's what's called hydroplaning. And I know you've gone over that many times on the Weather Channel. But with hydroplaning, there's no control. There's no traction from the tires of the vehicle to the roadway. And no matter what you're driving, it can be very dangerous, especially if you're using cruise control. Never use cruise control when it's raining.
And speaking of that, you have some tips for driving in the rain, because I imagine the reaction time that you have in a hydroplaning case makes all the difference in what you do in that little bit of time.
Right, absolutely, because there's nothing between the tires and the roadway other than the water, and it could be traction, no traction, and there could have ponding. If ponding happens and you hit that and you have water that basically rooster tails or waves out on the sides, you'll have no traction at all. So first thing is never ever use cruise control during when it's raining or during some sort of rainstorm, because the car's going to want to maintain that same speed, and it won't be able to without causing lack of traction. Also, if you find yourself in over your head, this is not a time to speed. You'll want to slow down until you can regain some form of traction. And if it's really that bad out, then maybe it's best that you stay home, especially if you're concerned about your driving skills.
Lauren, sometimes people will use their flashers or their hazard lights while they're driving. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you're right, Chris. You know, this is one of the things you can do. If it's really bad, we do get somewhere around the U.S., you do get some heavy, heavy rains. The first thing you can do is let people know around you that you're there. Make sure your headlights are on, put on your four-ways. Obviously, that means you're going to slow down, and let them know in case they are going too fast for the conditions.
And just a reminder, it does not take a lot to hydroplane, right?
Not at all. It can just be something as simple as less than an inch of water, that little teeny bit. All it needs is water between the tire and the roadway, and there's no traction, there's no steering, the brakes aren't going to work the way they're supposed to, and if you know you're in a sliding situation, try to slow down as carefully as you can and be aware of what's around you and who's behind you that's coming up quickly.
All right, Lauren Fix, the car coach, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you speaking with you, of course. Such a critical safety issue, being on the road, but when weather is added into that, it makes things more dangerous.
It's just one little friendly reminder we want to send everyone on their way today, because we know we have rain in the area, in some areas, including the southern plains.
All right.